I was wow. Oh, I cannot hear you. Is it me? Oh no,
Ah,
there you go. Is it a full suit too?
yeah, like it's my mom made it when I was 8. I wanted to be a sunflower for Halloween.
And it still fits.
It still fits. So I didn't know, like, do you put the headphones over or under the sunflower?
I'm
So
a I just look like a total chump over here now.
I know I was like, well, Alec is going to be underdressed for this opportunity.
Imagine. So
It,
I'm glad it was just shock and awe.
oh yeah, I started the recording waiting for this, and I realized that my microphone was off. But I was like, I just want to get your reaction on the sunflower. So imagine
Oh, it
this.
is recording. You're
Yeah,
right.
imagine this doing an interpretive dance in.
Oh, that is the famous one.
Yep,
You're
it
right.
is. Yeah, I thought I would take an opportunity.
Well,
It,
I like the
yeah,
opportunity.
I just keeps getting better. Hey, it's a little hot in here, so
You know what? That is probably the best part of my week.
yeah. You know what? Glad you showed up on your Friday afternoon.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, that's amazing. Well, I thank you for that. Jesus. Welcome everyone to another episode of Branching Out. Today we're going to be just kind of talking about our spring prep. We still have a few guests lined up for future episodes that we actually need to figure out dates for, which reminds me at some point as we keep getting busier, but we thought it would be a really fun time for everyone that isn't a part of the industry or wants to learn a little bit more, maybe more specifically nursery and landscape side, what our spring looks like and everything that kind of goes on behind the scenes as we're getting ready to go. So yeah, welcome to another one.
How's yours? How's your spring prep? I'm just gonna jump in.
Oh, I was just writing the questions I was going to ask you actually because I was driving in this morning. I'm like, I have nothing prepared. This is awesome. So it's going. Yeah, it's going. Spring prep is going. I mean, it's a long spring, so you'd think that would give us more time to prep, but it seems like it doesn't. But yeah, it's going. I don't know.
I think people like to believe that you just like Mother Nature shows up, gives you good weather, and you're just like ready with your shovel and wheelbarrow and ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, and that's what I'm worried about this year because it's been probably at least two for sure that I can remember, but I think a little bit longer where by now we've been like full rollout. We've been going for at least 1 or 2 weeks on like earthworks or anything like that. So we've actually been like last year, I remember specifically, it was really tough finding work for people because we had 80 staff and we were just like always like, okay, where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna go? Because we were trying to like, okay, what can we get done early because weather's good and people want to work and we can't really say no because we can't do some stuff. And now this year, everyone's going to be so behind and everyone's going to be ready for us at the same time. And we're, nope. So, yeah.
Don't you love when you start the season and you already are looking at your schedules and you're like, these are already outdated.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, we don't usually plan to start early. If it happens, it happens. It's sweet. Like usually most of our schedules start in May, unless there's like top dressing and seating or something that we can do first thing in the spring, but it's always so variable. We never really try to plan around it. It's just if it happens, sweet. But this year it's really not happening, and then every time we think we get close, we get another 5 centimeters of snow, or now next Wednesday we're supposed to get 10 millimeters of rain again. So sweet.
Yeah, it is definitely the spring challenge. And I feel like the spring, like, you and I've talked about it this week. I'm like, this spring seems hard. Everything just
Mhm.
seems like that takes way more effort and time than it needs to be. And nothing is coming easy. And you're like, please do not be the start and setting the tone for the season because this is going to be a rough go if this is what we're looking for.
Yeah, definitely. It does seem like that a little bit. I mean, just with whatever challenges and stuff pop up, but I'm April, May are probably my least favorite time for our calendar cyclical season. Worst is definitely the fall. I despise the fall. But this time is just always so chaotic. Like, next week we have onboarding with our staff, so we have like 2 or 3 days of orientation, and we're trying to do a comprehensive like training day this year as well. So we're going to do orientations like for construction crews in the morning, and then in the afternoon we're going to be running through some actually, and I have the piece of paper right here. We're going to be running through just like base grading and survey stake reading, load securement, just pre-trips and equipment maintenance and stuff like that. Just because it's been a couple of years since we've gone through like a comprehensive-ish, like, hey, make sure we look out for these things. So we're just, yeah, trying to squeeze all that stuff in. It's so chaotic, and then jobs aren't rolling out all at the same time, or yeah, it's yeah, soil's not available yet, or what have you, and we can do trees, but we can't plant shrubs. So it's, I don't know, it's one of my less favorite times of the year, I guess, because it's just not organized feeling.
Oh, you're so correct. It feels like everything kind of is siloed and it's challenging. I also, as I get more and more in experience in this industry, I hate onboarding. Like
Yes. Yeah.
I, I'm like, because it's just one of those things where, yeah, it feels like it's super slow to get started, and then some people don't work out. And that's always really frustrating because it takes a lot of time to, run your ads, do the interviews, do the reference checks, figure out how, because no one ever matches your poster perfectly, right? They'll have these skills, but then they also have those skills. They don't have these skills. So you're always creating your own jigsaw puzzle of how you're going to make the season work. And then you have it. And if they don't work out, like we already have one person that didn't work out for our season already this year. Now you're filling that gap, but then now you're back at square one trying to do all this in addition to spring prep and figuring out what skill set the next person is going to bring and figure out how they fit into the jigsaw puzzle because that piece isn't going to be the exact same pieces as what you thought you were going to have.
No, honestly, the only time that the piece fits is when they're lying about something. Like that's pretty much the only time that I've been like, oh, this is perfect. Yeah, this is awesome. And then it doesn't even remotely come close to what they said they could do. Um, so I think that's the rare time it works.
Well, and then also like sometimes there's a piece where they don't realize that, or they don't know that the way that they've done it before isn't the way that you do it, right? Like,
Yeah,
and so
totally.
that's also a fun place to navigate is okay, like you have this information, you have this experience, and how do we show you and get you on board on like how we do things? Because every company has different processes, different procedures, and different styles, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I don't know if you guys run into it too, but timing of hiring is so hard because once you hire someone, they want to start and you might not have something ready, but then when you get an applicant that you like, you're like, sweet. So then you're like, okay, do I find enough make work projects to get you through to when I actually require a skill set? Or do I take the chance and not hire you yet and say, okay, you're hired. This is what we're going to start you at, everything else. But then we can't start you for like 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks, and then they find a new job because they have life to continue on with. And you're like, rats.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like it is a
Probably a stronger word than rats, but
yeah.
rats.
For our podcast, it is 100% rats.
Dang nabbit.
Yeah. But I would say that I feel like it's the same challenge every year and it actually just gets more challenging somehow. Like everything, like the amount of people actually, and I don't know if you guys notice it, that apply that don't have a driver's license.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. And I gotta say that it throws me for a loop because I don't know how, like, and I get there's medical concerns and those kind of things. Like I'm talking outside of the outliers of that. Like there's just people that are like, yeah, I just didn't feel like a need to do that and to have my license. And I was like, cool, but how that like just limits you in my eyes. It just limits you to like the jobs and stuff that you could potentially, even if you don't have a car and you bike everywhere or you use public transport. Awesome. You're Shannon's favorite person for biking. But yeah, like just you don't have a skill to like be able to move your crew or move a truck to your job site. Like that's so important.
Yeah, and especially for us too, because we literally put on our ads that, like, especially for construction, you start on site, and then people are still like, "Oh, can I get like a ride and stuff like that?" We're like, "No, you can't." It was literally on the ad that you had to come start from site, and I realize you don't have a car, but then Uber or something. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is crazy. It used to really surprise me. Now it's like a question we have to ask in every single interview. Do you have a car? And if not, can you drive at least? And then yes or no. And then, yeah, it depends on where, other skills we feel confident in, but that kind of goes to the bottom of the pile.
Oh, absolutely. Like when you are thinking about, hey, how can I make a future in this industry? Like you got to see how you can make yourself marketable. Like how many skills can you gain and do really well that you make it so hard for a company not to want you.
Yeah, and we have like lots of people that don't drive or don't at least have a car but have their driver's license and they just make their way to site and it's never an issue. But yeah, like you said, it's the ones that don't drive and don't have a car, and then yeah, they're kind of stuck, and then we're not in the same place the next day, even halfway through the day or something, and then they're like, well, I can't get picked up on the south side of Edmonton because I live in the north side, and that's where I got dropped off this morning, and then you're like, it definitely is. Sorry.
Now you're like scheduling carpool is essentially what you're.
Well, then like I don't know, maybe it's just my default mode, but you try to work around it or you try to help them figure it out, then halfway through the exercise you're like, why am I doing this? Like I have made it pretty clear that this is the expectation that it shouldn't be up to me to figure it out, but alas.
It keeps it interesting, and it's funny because you're like, now I'm no longer surprised. I'm like, yeah, it takes a lot for me to now be surprised in hiring when like we thought we had a dream applicant a couple years ago and yeah, like had not just a good interview, a phenomenal interview. All three of his references were like wouldn't hire him again. And I was like, sorry, what? Just should I say the question just one more time? Like like I
You sure?
yeah, like it was I was blown away. I was like you're choosing who goes on your resume. Like make sure that you let them know that they're on there that they were going to give you a good reference. Like, oh, I
Totally.
that shocked me.
That is actually because, like I said, you got to choose your references. You carefully curate who you had a good experience with. I
Yeah.
guess he or she was very confident in their past their past experiences, I guess.
Oh, it was wild. And I like, what do you do with that? And I it was so sad because I had to go to our nursery production manager because he was gonna be their supervisor. I was like, you're not gonna believe this, but the reference checks did not go well. And it honestly looked like he had just been broken up with. He was so devastated because like the interview went so well. And it wasn't like I was there, the owner of our company, like Dwayne was there, the nursery production manager was there. Like there was three people and everybody was like, well, this is amazing. We found the person. We're moving on. Like and it was in a supervisory position, right? And those are sometimes hard to fill because you want to have experience and yada yada yada. And yeah, when I told them, I think all of them thought that I was lying. So if that's the one thing you take away from this episode is put your effort into your resumes. It's your initial impression and make sure your references are going to be solid.
No kidding. That's actually pretty wild. Just goes to show the best people that fit are the liars.
A full circle moment. So other than interviewing and hiring, what else does it look like for spring prep and trying to see which sites you can actually go to work on?
Yeah, that's a big part of it. I mean, it all really depends on how full your year looks too, because at least for the city of Edmonton, a lot of their tenders come out in March and April. So it's our busiest tender time too. So, let's say, for example, we had 2/3 of our year booked in January, and we're like, okay, so let's start going through these. So kind of once you have a job confirmed or you win a job or it's a carrier from last year, we do a lot of like we go through all the contract, the drawings, and we kind of set up all our ingredients list. So we know how many loads of topsoil we need for this job and yada yada yada. And then we plug it into our all of our online job tracking systems and stuff like that to make sure our budget's in there, schedules, and kind of just like that way when it's time to go, we just basically give our foreman a like briefing package like here's your drawing, here's your first call, here's your recipe book, here's all your ingredients to make your job, you know, I don't know, taste good. I'm going with the ingredients thing.
I was gonna say, in
um,
your next life, are you gonna be a baker over here?
well, that's what we always call it, like the ingredients list, you know, recipe for success, I guess, something along those lines. Yeah, so that's kind of, at least on the construction side, that's how we go through it. And you know, we're working through submittals with the client. So like any submittals, like, I don't know, site furniture, we got to make sure we get a cut sheet from the manufacturer. We send it in and they choose their colors that they want, or like soil cells, we got to make sure that we get shop drawings made. So I guess, yeah, shop drawings aren't probably super applicable to a lot of people, but shop drawings, you basically take the issued for construction drawings. So we're just going to go on a whole informational session here. Okay. Tender time. You normally bid or tender your work on issued for tender drawings. And then once the contracts are set out and the successful applicant is won, they go through and they kind of do their last minute revisions and issued for construction drawings. So those are the drawing set that you actually build off of. So you kind of base all your submittals and everything off that set. So depending on the product, I guess, or line item, like for like site furniture, for soil cells, for any custom, I don't know, foundations, lighting, like anything like that, you have to usually send submittals. So you take the drawings, you take it to the manufacturer and you say, hey, I need your shop drawing for this. So they usually list like specs, kind of how much you need for that area, kind of depends on what it is. And then you turn that around and you send it in to the consultant so that they can review it and basically check that you are ordering the right thing. So it's like that extra verification check. And sometimes, especially with more complicated stuff, like right now I'm going through a custom shade structure package, I guess. It's a total custom steel structure. And we've been working on it for 6 weeks, going back with drawings and revisions and, you know, back and forth with that. Yeah, because it's all custom engineered. So, you know, drawing sets usually take a couple weeks for the engineers to go through, just figure out all the loading, everything on it. So yeah, it's a long-term process, and usually once you get drawings approved, it's a long time to make things. So you really want to start with them as long as you can. Yeah, so that's a big part of that process, I guess. So once you start going through that, but then as March and April come up, to go back to the schedule and everything, you know, you win 6 jobs because you can't not bid on jobs half the time if you have openings in your calendar because you don't know what you're going to get or what you're not going to get. You kind of have a good idea, you know what competitive pricing looks like for the most part and how well you're going to do. Or, you know, you could win a job and it could be like $100,000 less than the next bidder, and you're like, oh, I hope I didn't miss something. So it's not a set thing. Like you can't just plug a job in and make sure it goes. And we're getting new ones all the time. So we're, you know, at this time of the year, we're going through a lot faster process to get all our ingredients for success like way faster. And yeah, having staff starting and jobs starting, and you're not just, you know, sitting at your desk plugging away. You're also running people in the field soon. So yeah, spring is crazy.
Looking to start a career in the green industry or know someone who is? The Digging Into Our Future grant from the Canadian Nursery Landscape Association is designed to support new entrants in the horticultural and landscaping industries. With $1,000 in total funding paid directly to employees, $500 of that $1,000 is upon entry into the qualifying position, and $500 is paid after 4 months of employment with the same employer. Digging Into Our Future is intended to reduce barriers to entry, support employment continuity, and help strengthen the horticultural workforce by encouraging new people to build lasting careers in the industry. If you're just getting started or hiring new talent, this is your opportunity to grow something bigger. Learn more and apply today at www.cnla.ca/news/digging into our future grant.
I feel like spring is a challenging time because it feels like you're you're not in a rhythm. You're doing a little bit of this, you're doing a little bit of that, and it's
especially production crews. Like
Yeah,
knocking the rust off is the same thing every year.
I know. I feel like by August we just like start to finally hit our stride, and then you lose like summer students, and you're like, and then if you have to hire in the fall, that's when I hate, like, if I have to say when I hate hiring the most, it would be fall hiring, because like who wants to work for a couple months?
Heartbeats. Nope,
Yeah.
nobody. You're hiring
S-
heartbeats at that point.
Yeah. So that's painful and so hard and frustrating. And then, yeah, secondary is to just hiring in general. I love when like you have those people that just like show up and they've done it for how many years? They grab their like they're ready to rock and roll and they care about the
Such a
company.
pleasure.
Oh my gosh. We have one gal that's came back today and started, and she came around the corner and she has the best smile, and she just came and like it was just like an instant energy of like, hey, Maureen's back. Like it just, and through the whole, like it just radiated through the whole office and shop and everything. And I'm like, can we just like put her through the photocopier? Because like those people that like when your body has that experience and like that reaction to seeing them, that you're like, oh, this is awesome. Like it's such a pleasure to have back. That I think that is my favorite part of spring is, yeah. And like when we get
That's fair.
we're in the SOP program. So we have guest workers that work just solely on our nursery, and they're from Mexico. And I picked them up, a group of them from the airport earlier this week. And like,
Oh, nice.
I think I was probably 3 carousels down, and I see one of our guys, Juan, and like he's waving to
Have a little
me.
side.
Oh no, no, oh, but these guys, oh my gosh, these guys have,
Parkland Nursery.
these are all our returning guys. Like we've had guys that have retired from the program, have been with our company for over 20 seasons, and they come back.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
incredible.
Oh yeah. Dwayne always gets a little testy about that because he's like, I thought I was gonna retire first. And they
I'm
laugh.
paying them too much.
They're like, they're the greatest guys. Again, they're in that group of staff members that care about the nursery. And yeah, they're just smiles radiate through the airport, and you're so pumped to see them. And you're like, oh, okay, spring's okay. We can dig trees. This is awesome. Yeah. There's a lot of stress that actually gets relieved when I go to the airport to get our guys and I see them and I'm like, oh, because the year that we had COVID, we had high school
Oh,
students.
yeah, I guess.
Oh yeah, I called it High School Musical.
That
And
is
oh my God, like it's funny because like these were like grade 12 kids. Like when I
yeah.
say it was High School Musical, and they're like, oh, we get to dig a hole. And I was like, yeah,
So many.
times 150. Like it wears off, like the excitement wears off so quickly. And like it is hard to take someone seriously when they have their pants rolled up into their socks and their hat is floating on their head. And I'd be like, I'm too old for this. And like COVID I thought was going to kill me. Not the actual like pandemic, like going through without guest workers, and then like one high school student does not equal one guest worker. That is not a even trade. And so you're
No.
teaching people like how to plant trees for the first time, how to basket trees for the first time. And Dwayne and I would start planting at like 5:30, 6 a.m. in the morning, plant. And then I would do my job for like 4 hours in the middle, like go check on construction crews and sites and stuff like that. And then I would start loading trees, and I would load semis of trees till like 11 p.m. midnight. The one time, because I told you, is high school students, and I substitute in the high school system. So this mom phoned me because she's also a teacher, and she's like, hey, is so-and-so still with you? And I was like, yeah, he's actually on the deck of the truck right in front of me. We're loading trees. It's 10:30. I asked him if he could stay, like, and help us.
Did he? He didn't ask his mom.
And I fed him supper, like I got him pizza, but I was like, oh yeah, these guys are high school students.
Whoops.
So
Well, I mean,
anyway,
like even respectfully for any other industry, that's not a typical working time, anyways, right? You
no,
always got to forget that. It's like, it's not the time of day doesn't determine when the work is done. It's
no,
when the work itself is ready to progress to a point, and you're like, okay,
and
now is the time.
and especially when like rain is in the forecast, like you're trying to get
Yeah.
semis and stuff out of the fields. Dwayne didn't move fast enough for my liking, And I was like, well, like I drove a Ford Escape that was manual. Like how hard could this driving a semi be? I just needed to move
You'll
it. I just needed to move it like 50 feet. So I, yeah, put it in
Did you
gear
move it?
and yeah, well, cause it, like I have my air ticket and I have,
No.
yeah. So I just moved it 50 feet and it worked out fine. And Nubian's like, you have no patience. And I was like, "Yeah, I think you probably knew that probably when I was 3 years old. Like it hasn't changed. So,
I am moving your product for you. Do you want to argue with me or do you want to get it done?
well, now I can move semi trucks, not on the road. That is, I do not want my class one, but I can move.
No, that's a on
Yeah,
the farm at least. Yeah, I did that on a job site. Yeah, once too, and it was like, yeah, I'm never gonna do this on the road, but I will move this water truck.
I
That was the
now that
only
I have
time.
my air
No semis in
ticket,
the field for me.
I the water truck is fair game, and I
Fair.
really appreciate again going back to the things on your resume. Have as many tickets and things you possibly can have. Like the reason I have my class 2 is because I drove a school bus for substitute teaching. They needed it was before Humboldt, and you needed to have your bus license so that you could like sub in phys ed and drive kids offsite to like the skating rink,
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
soccer pitch, whatever. And so, yeah, I got my class 2 there, and now it's incredibly useful here. I can drive our guest workers. We have a little bus that goes into town every Friday for their shopping. I've done that many a nights when, so and so doesn't show up or conflict of schedule or whatever. I have my air ticket, so I can.
Easter breeze on our way.
I look like Miss Frizzle, I think, probably most days. But if you see
How
me
dare
in
you
a
one time this
bus,
year to show up in your I
yeah,
was gonna say your sunflower costume, just show up. We're going on a field trip.
I, let's be real, that is very realistic and probably
Pretty
very in my
legit.
wheelhouse. Yeah. No, so if you ever see a bus and me in a superstore parking lot, I'll still like be working on my laptop in the bus while the guys go shopping. So it just like it makes you really versatile, right? When you can like pick up and like do XYZ job and yeah. And then it helps you like be marketable in an industry when the chances of you doing one task and one job all day, every day is probably slim. Like you're probably not just going to put in trees. You're going to put in trees, shrubs, perennials, grasses.
Water them after. You can
Yeah.
drive them back on the semi, back to your nursery afterwards. It's perfect.
Yeah. All in one.
Although it is, I will say yes, obviously, very important to be as marketable as possible. But man, does it suck to know how to do everything sometimes.
Oh,
Because then it's
yeah.
just like you are the person that is asked, you are the person that has to do it because you're the only person there. Or hey, so and so called in sick today. Can you help out a little bit? And you're like, no, I literally have so many other things I need to do. But it's gotta be done.
Welcome to supervisory and management excitement. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't like, okay, you're laborer. Actually, this is gonna be really hard for people that are listening, not watching. So imagine I am holding two things in my hands. At one point, you think, okay, I was in the field, so I'm just gonna take that and I'm just gonna put that over here, and then this is gone. But no, now that you're in this position, you're not in the field, you also have to still do this sometimes. So it's like, I'm just gonna fluctuate here while also doing this.
Yeah,
Like
the
it's
amount
not
of like office and field, like office management and field, like it just is a constant fluctuation of like what percent of your day
yeah,
do you do those things?
exactly.
Yeah.
That was way better put. The hands were floating up and down in different motions for all those people listening.
I guess also
It's hard
people
to
don't know that
articulate that.
I'm sitting in a sunflower costume too.
They just we're gonna have the intro of me just randomly laughing, and it's like I think we say it like two or three times.
Yeah.
I was just
Oops.
really happy to see you.
Yeah. We are not good at giving the auditory explanation at all. So hopefully people watch our videos.
I don't know if Sarah could do it. We should ask her if if she could do like a thumbnail for this specific episode only, and it'll be you in the sunflower.
And that's it.
Way more clicks. Yeah. Well, no, we could still do like, oh, maybe my face will be like somewhere in the like bottom part. Then it'll still be like branching out with Alec and Brea. That'll just be you with a sunflower.
Well, if that gets us more international clicks for listeners, we have listeners now in Australia, in the US, in Vietnam, and Algeria. That's pretty cool.
Randomly. Yeah. Yeah, lots of continents, actually.
Yeah, I tell Alec, I'm like, is this what Mr. Worldwide feels like? Like, are we on the same level right now?
Mr. Worldwide. Oh man, that brought back so many dances.
I don't know if dancing is in your skill repertoire. Like
Oh, it's
so,
not. It's not. Very comfortably, it's not.
but you get an
Just
E for
just
effort.
pit just Pitbull songs. Just brings the person back, you know?
So, Alec, what are you most excited for this season, other than to get through April and May?
Yeah, to get through April and May. I don't know what my favorite part will be. I think honestly just that like changing of the tide, because definitely by the end of the winter, especially covering snow and stuff like that, like I'm ready to move on from cold and from managing snow, like phone calls at 3 a.m. Um, so I think just that kind of like breath of fresh air, you almost feel like too when the weather starts to turn, like just for anybody that's changing of a season, that's one of my favorite parts, I think. And then like you said, like the chaos is chaos, but it's you find a purpose in it too. Like sometimes when it is slower in the office and you're just kind of plugging away at stuff, it's hard to keep on the eight ball, I guess, the whole time because you're just kind of going through the motions. So, sometimes that volatileness does help keep me engaged, I guess sometimes. Don't love it all the time, but sometimes it's nice. I think that's just my favorite part. And like you said, seeing everyone again is nice and just starting the work that you've spent maybe weeks or days staring at the drawings. It's nice to physically start the work and I mean obviously selfishly too, like, money starts coming into the company again and stuff like that. Like it's just that breath of fresh air and yeah, nice weather and grass is I'd love like right now we're starting to get some green growth actually and it's such a marketable difference at least for me just seeing that green grass come up is just it's nice. I don't know, that's probably my favorite part. I don't have a specific part to the industry, I guess. It's just changing of the season, turning the tide, and that breath of fresh air that it's all full of promise again.
I'm just laughing
That's it.
because, like, of course, like I just feel like that's such a dad answer to be like, man, when the grass turns green, like that for me, I get to have my white New Balance shoes, I get my tucked in shirt into my jean shorts, and I get to rip around with a mower. Like that's
Actually strongly dislike mowing my lawn. Not that I have a very big one, it's very small, but not my favorite activity. But I think I mean, yes, probably dad stuff because it's me. I feel like there's a pretty valid answer for a person who's in this industry. Like, oh, green stuff is happening. That's literally my job.
oh, that's fair. I felt like it felt like such a dad answer of the green grass
It is, yeah,
specifically. Yeah. So
specifically, yeah. Trees when they bud too, that's always really nice, I guess, if I'm gonna deviate from my, my typical answer.
it's funny because your answer also gives me stress because it depends on how much we have left to dig. Like
Oh,
things are leaping out.
yeah,
I'm like, oh my, like it's like a, yeah, like is this okay? I
and
love this industry and I love the beauty of it. I love growing things and yeah, I love loads of trees going out the gate. Like I love that. But I also feel like I do not enjoy spring the way other people enjoy spring because I feel like beauty comes with stress, right? Like when we see trees
yeah,
leafing out, I'm like, how many more trees do we have to dig? And there's sweet spots for different kinds of trees, right? Like there's some that you have to wait till they just kind of have like mouse ears popping out so that the energy goes all the way up and so that they leaf out all the way to the top. There's like tricks of the trade. And so, yeah, like there's so many sweet spots that I feel like spring is kind of just this like stressful time instead of like other people are like, oh my
yeah,
God,
that's
it's such a
fair.
beautiful time. It's so peaceful. And I'm like, it's anything but peaceful.
Yeah. No, it's really not. And even like I mean, yeah, because I do have some nursery specific questions that I prepared in the 2 minutes before I got the link. Like, even for us, like yeah, we're really prepared today. Like even for us, like spring inspections and stuff like that, right? Like as we're kind of going through our own internal QC checks, like going on sites and be like, oh man, there is 8 out of 10 trees that are breaking bud. That's awesome. Like you said, it's that stressful time where it's full of promise, but it's also like those are more dead than I would have cared for, and then you start to figure out why, and yeah, got to replace them and stuff.
Or the
Okay,
damage,
some of your
the damage
yeah,
that's
well,
from like snow removal, not your snow removal, but like,
sometimes.
but I
But then,
like,
then you're like, no, I can only blame myself, rats.
yeah, that does suck. But like, just or people being knuckleheads and driving through parks because why not? Like those kinds of things, or people sliding off roads and hitting trees. Why does that happen
Yeah,
so often?
it's actually that I'd never noticed it ever until like started doing this, and we're like, oh, yep, there's another tree that got blown out this year. I was like, how does this happen?
I know, and then I always want to know what the car looks like because you never see that part of the story.
No, or even like, if sometimes with new sod installs and stuff like that, especially late in the fall, we'll do the T-posts on the boulevard, especially around corners, because they always cut corners during the winter and stuff. And then like these T-posts are blown out or bent over. I'm like, what does your car look like? Like those are decently thick metal.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it just looks like a pool noodle that was bent. Like it's unbelievable. Yeah,
It is, yeah.
I don't like this type of spring or this moment in spring because everything looks kind of dirty and grimy. And then you also
Yep,
just see like the
yeah.
damage from winter that I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, we usually try to do one inspection every 2 months during the winter, so like we have a heads up of what's coming for damage in the sites, and we can start to prep clients for third party damage and stuff like that. Um, and if they pile snow in places that's a shrub bed and half of the shrubs are dead, we're like, that's probably why.
Yeah.
So it's less of like a surprise right in spring, but yeah, like I said, it's just the final unveiling of everything, and you're like, nope, that didn't look like what I left it.
I think my biggest one is because I feel like it's hard to kind of gauge how bad it is the ruts in the fresh sod or in the seed areas, like on the boulevards. Because there'll be times where you're like, you literally rutted up every square foot. Like there's not a single
It's
section
incredible.
that is rut free. And I'm just like, did you even use the road? Like, how
Well,
does this even
especially in
happen?
yeah, new subdivisions, it's the worst. Like all the building construction, you do the boulevard, because and we always talk about it with clients every year. It's whether you want to do this boulevard now and get it inspected and let it get trashed from CCC to FAC, or we wait until all the builder activity is done and then we come in and you're only paying us once to do it. But obviously, a lot of the neighborhood development also sells lots, so they always want the neighborhood to be landscaped, and it's not a mess, but then you landscape it, and within 2 months in the winter, like it's just crazy. Like I don't know how many times trees aren't so bad because it's more of a visual thing that they aren't hitting. I mean, yes, usually about 20% we have to replace, but sometimes entire boulevards, like where it's all new construction, we have to redo the entire like 200-meter boulevard because it's just torn up everywhere.
And the worst part,
It's awesome.
though, the worst is repairing a sodded boulevard where like you're cutting into these ruts.
Yep.
I'm like, I don't know if there's something I actually dislike more than that because also a lot of times I think it could be prevented.
Oh, well, yeah, 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. Oh, there's lots of times where I was like, I don't know, like I didn't come and hit your wall, right? Like I saw it, I
Yep.
respected it, I went around it. Uh, like, yeah. So that is spring. Definitely
Oh,
the
well,
unveiling
spring.
of what happened over the winter can be a little bit of a buzzkill.
Is the amount of trees that you dig, so I guess for people that don't, because digging a tree doesn't sound as obvious as I think as it sounds to both of us sitting here. So you can talk about it a little bit more, but for digging the tree, you basically have to spade it out of the ground before bud onset or before it starts developing energy into production. And that's how you prepare trees to sell and how you ship them. You like you said, you basket them. Like you said, it's like a wire basket with burlap for mainly for transporting because that's what machines hook onto to lift it and plant them. So do you have orders obviously that you receive and that's how you prepare all your digging? Do you dig a little bit more to anticipate for somebody's last minute orders, like when I get a job in May and I'm like, guess what? Or I completely forget about it. I'm like, please have 8 more silver cloud maples. I need 8. That's all I need. Yeah, I don't know. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, good question. So if you want a demo, I just actually filmed one for like our Parkland Nursery social media of like digging the
I
tree.
saw it actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
So
made me happy.
yeah. Oh, made me very happy. We're at like 1,000 trees and then the snow stops
Nice.
us. Yeah. So yeah. So to answer your question, we kind of like you tender. Well, we bid to you guys so that you can bid to your different projects and stuff. And then as soon as you guys find out and you're making your ingredients list of, hey, we got the job, we got to confirm the orders, you confirm it to the nurseries. And then we go and flag everything. Because the thing is like we could have that number. And this is something that we try and explain to people is we could have 1,000 elm. And like you could be bidding like for 500, someone else might need 200, someone else might need 600 for a job. No one has confirmed anything, so we still have 1,000 elm. And then as soon as you get confirmation though, and you need 600 and someone else needs 600 for a different job, we still only have 1,000. So we go out there, we flag everything individually. Everybody has their own color. We're all color coordinated here at the nursery. And yeah, then we put in like that's the tough part also is like baskets and burlap. So burlap comes from overseas. That is not on Amazon Prime. So it's not like you can just order
Weird.
that whenever you want. So you have to like dust off your crystal ball and be like, okay, what do we think we're going to get for orders? Because that takes, well, depending if straits are closed or not, but like, and where it's coming and what's like the crisis, right? Very like COVID, things took like months and months, right? Like, so
Yep.
everything can have a real hiccup in lead times. So, and especially when you're moving stuff on a boat in a container, because it also can be held up at docks, right? For inspection and stuff. So we order in our burlap, we have to get our baskets all made so that we have all wired baskets. We have to put that order in last year, like last summer. So like all of this stuff, we're really guessing. I honestly, like I look at the nursery and I'm like, man, it is really hard to create solid business plans and choices when so much of this market is hard to predict. Like how much do you plant of each tree? Because everything goes in and out of flavor. If a municipality has a disease and kind of does a knee-jerk reaction and takes it off their list, that happens immediately. And it doesn't matter that you've been planting these for 7 years, right? And a tree can take anywhere from 3 to 8 years to grow in your field before you're even saleable. We order our burlap, we order our baskets way in advance. And then as the orders come in through the winter, we flag them. And then as soon as we get to spring, right now, again, we're really not in production digging because we're playing with frost. So our field is kind of on a slope. So at the top of the hill, the frost is out of there, right? Lower sections, frost is still in it, still wet. So we're kind of hodgepodging through the field. But yeah, then we use skid steers and we spade out the tree. We lift it up. Then we have 2 guys and they put the burlap liner. For those that are listening to this, I am using my hands.
I was just
I know.
gonna say you should see her spade hands.
Yeah, I was like, I have really sharp angled spade hands. They dig it out and yeah, they lift the ball
Free
up.
spade hands.
Not to be confused with jazz hands.
I was going Edward Scissorhands, but that works too.
And spirit fingers. I did dance for 5 years. So yeah, you spade the tree out, then you put the liner, the burlap liner in the basket, and that makes sure like all the soil gets held in and it doesn't get lost through the vibration and stuff to transport to site. Set it back down in the hole, and then you got to keep the basket on. And so strapping, one of my least favorite tasks, you strap with a nylon strap and you kind of make like a star look to it, and you want to have a tight basket and a tight root ball that fits into the basket. So all of our spades are custom made to fit our baskets. Our baskets are custom made to fit our augers for our construction side. So everything fits beautifully. And then, yeah, we just dig like crazy. And as soon as we try and get everything dug first before we start shipping, because our shippers are also the skid steers that are being used to dig. So try not to overlap too much on that. But then we start shipping out. And also you guys are waiting for your sites to be ready to go. So yeah, that's kind of the process in the nutshell. We try and ship as much out before it leaves out because when leaf development happens and it pushes out, they're super tender and they can burn in the wind and stuff. So we're trying to shipping trees can happen any time of year when you're already dug in the spring, but it is really nice when they're still dormant going down the road. It just makes it easier.
Yeah, definitely helps out.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, it's always from us, at least on our end. And I have a better working understanding, but still, obviously, I'm not in that world all the time, right? So, yeah, there's so much effort to that showing up on doorsteps. It's bonkers. And we can
No,
have a whole nother video just on that portion. It's crazy. Like, said 7 years. That's a long time to take a guess on, like you said, the municipality's approved list of trees that they're going to use, and all of a sudden 30% of that list is gone, and you're stuck with 3,000 trees that nobody really wants anymore.
seriously, like I remember when I was getting into like supervisory and management and wanting to know like how do we determine how many baskets we need or how much we plant, and Dwayne's like, well, it's kind of an educated guess. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't think any
No,
business
that can't be
school
it.
would say that that's the
Yeah.
way to run a business. Like, really, crystal ball? That's what we're going with?
And here you are preaching it now.
I know. Now I'm like, well, I don't have a better
There's no other
solution
way
right
around it.
now. I know, and it's so hard. And like, there's some municipalities that literally just put their tenders out, like, yeah, they were due in April, like this week, right? And so then they have
Yep.
to go through the approval process. So like last year, there was some municipalities that we got awarded trees 3 days left in our dig season.
Nice.
Yeah, and so like that's one of those like, do we even have it left, and can you dig it, right? Because it's one of those things that Mother Nature decides when your endpoint is going to be.
Yep.
Right? And like you look at the weather next week, when you have cold, that's lovely. But when you have 22 above, which is supposed to be like Tuesday of next week, then that really pushes Mother Nature like crazy.
So much fun to figure out.
So really, in essence, we are really selling spring right now in our industry. But it is one of those things where it's short-term stress of getting everything started. But there's like, it is exciting that you have a new start, a new beginning. Like it doesn't feel like, because you're kind of talking about before, the winter kind of gets mundane, right? You get to have a fresh start. There's excitement, there's energy, things are starting to happen. You get to see the physical part of all of your preparation that you've done up until that point.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like one of those things that you're like in the thick of things right now. Sometimes it's hard to see
Yes.
the light at the end of the tunnel.
Exactly. That chaos, it's always hard to find, but yeah, it is a really promising time. Like, it's just the beginning of everything, right? So,
Yeah. Well, I will wish you good luck in your season. And I'm sure that we'll do a check-in mid-season to see if we all survived spring.
if we survived it, just
Yeah.
doesn't show up.
We'll do a proof of life. Like, hey, we're still alive. We might not be thriving, but we're still surviving. That will be the check-in.
Perfect. Well, thank you everyone for listening along today. As always, please follow us on socials, CNLA everywhere, Instagram, Facebook, and make sure that you follow, subscribe, Spotify too, I guess. And where are we? Amazon Music? But Amazon? Apple, that's the one I'm thinking of. Can you tell it's been like a few weeks? This is good. Good work, everyone. Thanks for listening along today.
Thanks for branching out with us.